to day 7 of my 7th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups a day every single day, except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 7. All I'm using for today's workout is a set of dumbbells, but if you don't have weights, that's fine. The added weight is optional. I will be providing equipment-free substitutions, but you will be more comfortable with something soft beneath you for our ab exercise. So definitely grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. Of course, you do not need to join the challenge just to do this workout with me. So if you just want to do this workout with me today, great. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video. So use the chapter markers to skip straight ahead to the workout if that's what you would prefer to do. That is absolutely fine. But if you would like to hear a little bit more about what the challenge is, how it works, how you can participate, and where to begin, and if you would like to see today's exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So very quickly, the challenge is, in a nutshell, I already said it, 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. So day 1 of the challenge was last Wednesday, that was February 17th. And day 40 of the challenge is going to be Saturday, April 4th. That's the day before Easter. So if you would like to start this workout on day 1, fantastic. Here's what you're going to do. I will put a link up here in the iCard to the playlist for this year's challenge. What you're going to do is click on that link, save the playlist, and then just start by watching that day 1 video. And make sure that when and if you are ready to begin the challenge, that you just start with that day 1 video on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday will work. So if you want to start with day 1 of the challenge, you can start today with day 1. Click on the link in the iCard, save the playlist, and start with day 1. And from there, all you have to do is just follow along with the playlist. You're going to do a new workout every day, but on Sundays you rest. Okay, so that is if you want to do this year's challenge, but as I said, this is my 7th year in a row doing this challenge. So if you are an absolute beginner, or if you just have more questions about what the challenge is, you want more details about why we're doing the challenge, what we're looking to accomplish with this challenge, if you need to see beginner modifications, if you don't think you can do 40 squats or 40 push-ups every day, yes, you can. So if you are an absolute beginner, I would like you to follow along with the playlist that I made last year for the challenge. Last year was my 6th year in a row doing this challenge, and last year I went out of my way to make sure that each and every workout was accessible to super duper ultra day 1 beginners. So if you are in terrible shape, if you have never done a workout before a day in your life and you think you can't do this challenge, you can do this challenge. And here's how you start. I am going to put another link up here in the iCard that will take you to the playlist that I made last year when we did this challenge. I want you to click on the link, and then once you're there, I want you to save last year's playlist. You don't have to commit to anything yet, just save the playlist so that when and if you do decide that you want to join the challenge, you have all of the workouts readily available to you. So once you have saved the playlist, again, I want you to just start by watching that day 1 video. You still don't have to commit to anything yet. Just watch the day 1 video. There are chapter markers, so it's a long video. You can use the chapter markers to navigate to whatever portion of the video is relevant to you. But if you're really curious about learning a lot of details about the challenge and really looking at why we're doing this challenge and really kind of establishing kind of a checklist of the things that you're hoping to accomplish with the challenge, and if you need to see beginner modifications, then you're going to want to watch the whole video. That video explains everything there is to know about this challenge. Literally any question you could possibly have about this challenge, I'm sure, is answered in that video. And any modification that you would need to see is included in that video. So if you think you can't do push-ups, you can do push-ups. In that video, I showed you a push-up variation that I promise you can absolutely do regardless of your fitness level, regardless of your experience. So please, 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 if you are an absolute beginner, click on the link in the iCard, save last year's playlist, and just begin by watching that day one video. And then again, when and if you decide you want to join the challenge, just make sure that you start with your day one workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday will work. As long as you start with your day one reps on a Wednesday, all you have to do is follow along with the playlist from there, and everything will fall right into place. I promise, it's super easy to follow along. So beginners, you're going to follow along with year 6. That's last year's playlist. If you are kind of at an intermediate level, you're going to follow along with me this year. You're going to do these new workouts with me each day as I share them. So if you are following along with this year's workouts, this year's playlist, year 7, I'm going to assume that you're at more of an intermediate level. So I'm going to assume that you do not need as much instruction as what I provided last year. I'm going to assume that you know the basic form for how to do your squats properly. I'm going to assume that you know how to do your lunges, how to keep a 90-degree angle in your front knee for the lunge. I'm going to assume that you know how to keep your body in one perfectly straight line for your push-ups. Okay, so I'm not going to be providing quite as much instruction this year, but I will be providing some because it's really important that you're doing the exercises correctly. But for the most part, I'm going to assume that if you are following along with this year's playlist, that you're at more of an intermediate level. So I'm going to also assume that you have some basic pieces of equipment, but I will do my best to always provide equipment-free substitutions. If you are more advanced, if you have a little bit more time to dedicate to your workouts each day, and if you want workouts that are really going to challenge you, then I'm going to encourage you to follow along with the playlist I made 2 years ago. That was year 5 of the challenge. So again, I will link that playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video. All 3 playlists will be linked in the description box down below the video, and all 3 playlists will be linked at the very, very end of the video as well, just to make sure you cannot miss them. All right, so for year 5 of the challenge, the workouts were much tougher, much more advanced. They were generally a lot longer because, first of all, we were usually doing more than just those 160 reps. So 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups is 160 reps, but we were frequently doing more than just that. A lot of days I would double my lunges so that I was doing 40 reps on each leg, for example. We were also doing more challenging variations of those 4 exercises. We were usually, more often than not, I would say, incorporating weight into the workouts, dumbbells, sandbag, any kind of weight you have, I was throwing it in there. Medicine ball, okay? So in addition to that, we were not always just doing squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We were frequently doing exercises in addition to those. And in most of those workouts, I was also incorporating about 20 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio right into the workout. So again, if you are in really great shape and you are more advanced and you want workouts that are really going to challenge you, you're going to click on the link in the iCard, save the playlist from year 5 of the challenge. I would recommend that you save all 3 playlists just so that you have those options, so that on any given day of the challenge, you have 3 different levels that you can choose from. You have your beginner option, your intermediate option, and your advanced option. So on any given day of the challenge, you may have less time, or you may be sore, or you may not have access to equipment. So maybe you're capable of doing what I'm doing this year or what I did in year 5, but maybe on that particular day, the beginner workout is going to be better suited for you. The beginner workouts that we did last year were still great workouts, but I took everything at a little bit slower pace, and there's a lot more instruction, and I did my best to not use any fitness equipment whatsoever. We did add weight to a couple of the workouts, but I was literally just holding onto a water bottle. Instead of my plyo box, I would use a chair, for example, because I was assuming that if you were an absolute beginner and you've never worked out before in your life, that you didn't have any fitness equipment. So maybe if you're traveling and you don't have access to any equipment, then even though you might be more advanced or you might be at an intermediate level, you could follow along with the workout from year 6 of the challenge. just because you know that you won't need any exercise equipment to do that workout, okay? So save all 3 playlists, and that way you can kind of just bounce around between them and just pick whatever workout is going to work for you on any given day. You don't have to stick with the same playlist for the duration of the challenge, and you don't even have to go in order. The workouts are labeled days 1 through 40, but you can do any workout on any day, okay? If you're the one doing it, then it's your challenge, so you do it in whatever way works for you. Ultimately, the only requirement to participate in this challenge is just that you're doing your reps every day. So as long as you're getting those 160 reps done, it doesn't matter how you get them done. It doesn't matter which playlist you choose from. It doesn't matter which day you do. You don't have to do the day 10 workout on day 10. As long as you're just doing any workout, it doesn't even have to be one of my workouts. You can find another workout on YouTube that happens to contain at least 40 squats, at least 40 lunges, at least 40 reps of an ab exercise, and at least 40 push-ups, and do that workout. You can make up your own workout, or you can not do a workout. If you don't have time to do a structured workout, when I share these videos every day, I'm incorporating my reps into kind of a structured workout that you can do right along with me if you want. Or you can watch me do it and go do the workout on your own later, however you like to do it. But the point is that if you don't have time to do a structured workout and that's too much thought for you, you're too busy and you don't want to put the thought into that, that's fine. What you can do is get up in the morning and first thing when you wake up, just do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of an ab exercise, and 10 push-ups. It can be any variations of those 4 exercises you want to do. Just do that first thing in the morning, and then you can just repeat that maybe after lunch, then maybe you could do it again when you get home from work and once more before bed. And there you go, that's your 160 reps. So don't overthink it. This challenge is very, very approachable for all fitness levels. It is very doable regardless of your fitness level, regardless of any time constraints you may have, regardless of your access to fitness equipment. So as long as you're getting your reps done every day, it doesn't matter how or when you do them. The challenge is just to get them done. All right, but just to recap, if you are an absolute beginner, you are going to follow along with year 6. If you are intermediate, you're generally going to be following along with the workouts that I'm sharing this year, year 7. And if you are more advanced and you have more time to dedicate to your workouts, you can follow along with year 5. So year 6 is beginner, year 7 is intermediate, year 5 is advanced. All right, hopefully that is enough information for today. Again, if you have more questions about what the challenge is, if you're curious about the origins of the challenge or anything like that, all of that information is contained in the day 1 video from last year's challenge. So you're going to go to the year 6 playlist, click on the day 1 video, and that is going to explain everything you need to know about the challenge. But of course, I am here every single day, not only doing the challenge right along with you this year, but I am here to provide guidance. I am here to provide support. I am here to encourage you, and I am here to answer questions. So if you have any more questions about the challenge itself and how you can participate, if you're unclear about where to begin or which level you should be following along with, I'm right here to help. So please just ask questions if you have them, okay? So let's go ahead and get into what we're doing today. So first of all, let me just tell you for reference and for reference only, these dumbbells that I'm using today weigh 10 pounds a piece. That is a good weight for me. That is going to challenge me plenty today. However, you may need to use something lighter than that. You may need to use something heavier than that. That depends on you. That depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It depends on what you have available to you. And of course, it just depends on how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weight and make the decision that is best for you. If you do not have dumbbells, look for household items that will work. So probably the easiest thing to do is going to be to grab a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles and fill them with some sort of weight. So you could fill them with water. You might be able to make them a little bit heavier by filling them with something like uncooked rice or dried beans or lentils, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. If you want to take your workout to the beach today or the park or something like that, maybe you could fill them with sand or dirt, or you know those little decorative pebbles, they sell them at like Dollar Tree, they're super cheap. I bet you could make them a little bit heavier by filling them with something like that. So pretty much anything will work for weight, as long as you can find something that you are able to maintain a secure grip on, so that you're not going to drop it and injure yourself or break something and make a mess. And as long as it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items can work. So just get creative and use what's available to you. Or again, if you want to take your workout to the hiking trail or the beach or the park, you probably could even find a couple of rocks that you could use, okay? So pretty much anything will work for weight, but if you have absolutely nothing that is going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to your workout today, that's fine. The added weight is optional. I will be providing equipment-free substitutions. But again, if you are not adding weight to the workout, then you might be better off to follow along with last year's day 7 workout. So I will link that specific workout up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, but that's going to be essentially the same workout we're doing today, but without the added weight. All right, so that's up to you, but I will be providing the equipment-free options. So if you're at more of an intermediate level and you don't need all of that instruction and you wanna maybe go at a little bit faster pace, you can go ahead and follow along with this year's workout and just apply those equipment-free substitutions, that's fine. All right, but other than the dumbbells, the only other thing you're going to need, again, is something soft beneath you for our ab exercise. So I'm just using my jump rope mat. It's nice and thick, but any kind of exercise mat is fine. A yoga mat will work. If you don't have a mat, just grab a towel. If you're working on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything. But that's it, that's all we're using today. So let me go over the variations of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, and then I'll explain the format and we will get right into it. So first of all is our squats. So remember with your squats to keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels. So I always like to start by tucking my shoulder blades into my back pocket. Shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are tight. And then the next thing I like to do is think about hinging at the hips, pushing my booty back, like I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty so that my back stays flat, the weight stays in my heels as I come down into my squat. All right, so today I'm just doing a squat with a side leg lift. So I'm just going to squat down and then I'm going to transfer my weight into one foot, lift the opposite foot, and then lift the leg straight out to the side, place the foot back down, return to my starting position, alternating sides with that leg lift for each rep. So then with my next rep, I'll squat, transfer my weight into the opposite foot, lift the other foot, lift the leg out to the side. Super simple. I'm not kicking. You can kick if you want. That's fine. Really, you can do any squat variation you want. That's one of the really beautiful things that makes this challenge so easy to customize is that you can always substitute with a different variation. So remember, as long as you're getting your 40 squats done, it doesn't matter how you get them done. So on any given day, if you do not like the squat variation I'm doing, you can just substitute with any other squat variation. And that goes for your lunges, your abs, and your push-ups as well, okay? So any squat variation you wanna do is fine. If you wanna just do air squats, that's fine. If you wanna add the leg lift, that's what I'm doing. And if you would prefer to add a kick, you can kick, okay? With or without weight, you can do a kick, not do a kick, you can jump, it doesn't matter. Any squat variation you wanna do is fine, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to be adding weight. I'm going to be holding on to both of my dumbbells for this, so I'm adding 20 pounds of weight, but if holding on to both of your weights is too much, you can hold on to just one, or you can hold on to like a kettlebell for this, or a medicine ball, or like a jug of laundry detergent, or one of those big 2.5 gallon jugs of water. That's fine. You can hold something like that in front of you like this. I am going to be holding both of my 10-pound dumbbells together. And as I sink down into my squat, I'm going to bring the dumbbells down in front of me. And then as I stand, I'm going to bring the dumbbells up in front of me. And as I transfer my weight and lift that leg, I'm going to press the dumbbells up overhead and then bring them back down in front of my chest. Return to my starting position. And now with the next rep, again, I'm going to let the dumbbells come down straight in front of me as I squat. And then as I press my heels into the ground and stand, the weights come up in front of my shoulders. As I transfer my weight and lift that leg to the side, I'm pressing the weights up overhead. As the foot comes back down, the weights return to my chest, and then I'm gonna straighten my arms. So squat, curl, press as you lift the leg. Other side, squat, curl the weights, lift the leg, and press. All right, so that's my squat variation. Moving on to lunges. I'm doing basically walking lunges, but I don't have a lot of space out here. Depending on where I'm doing this workout, sometimes I do 4 lunges. I can do like short little lunges and show you. Sometimes I'll lunge like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then turn around and just do that 10 times. That's 40 lunges. So depending on your space, if you want, you can walk farther. If you have space to do like 10 lunges, you can do 10, 20, 30, 40, that's fine. And I was counting each lunge as 1 rep when I did that. So each time I took a step forward, I was counting 1, 2, like that. So with or without weight, walking lunges, that's what you can do today. And you can count each lunge as 1 rep. What I'm going to do today, like I mentioned earlier, I do sometimes to increase the difficulty, is count each 2 lunges as 1 rep. So that by the time we're finished with our lunges, we will have completed not a total of 40 lunges all day, but a total of 40 lunges on each leg. So that's part of the way I'm increasing the difficulty this year over what we did last year, is by doubling my reps of lunges. That's optional. So you can just do 20 on each leg, okay? So you can do half the amount of lunges that I'm doing today if that works better for you. That's still 40 lunges, okay? It's 40 total lunges. So I am just going to do 2 lunges at a time. So I'm going to start towards one end of my space. I'm going to step 1 foot forward, bend both knees, come down into my lunge. Again, about a 90-degree angle in this front knee is what you're going for. So you're trying not to have your front knee out over your toes, but you're trying to have this knee more over the heel of your front foot. And then I'm going to pick up this back leg, swing it forward, step the foot in front of me, and then again, bend both knees and come down into my lunge. And then I'm going to step this back foot forward so that it's even with the other foot. Then from here, I'm going to jump. I do like a little twist jump. So I'm going to jump up and twist my body, or rotate 180 degrees so that I'm facing the opposite direction. And then I'll just repeat that going back. So step and lunge, bring the feet together, twist, jump. And I'm counting each twist jump as 1 rep. So each time I jump, that's 1 rep. Okay, so it's going to go lunge, lunge, step, twist, jump. That's 1. Other direction, lunge, lunge, step, twist, jump. That's 2. Okay, so I'm double counting them. You don't have to double count them if you don't want to. So that's your equipment-free option. I'm just going to be holding my weights to my side as I do that. I'm not doing anything with the weights, just holding them to my side to increase the difficulty, okay? So just step and lunge, step the foot forward, twist, jump, okay? Super simple. One minor detail is that each time I do that twist jump, I want to make sure that I'm twisting towards the opposite direction. So I'm making sure that each time I jump and twist like this, that I'm turning towards you, so that you are never looking at my booty. I'm never twisting in this direction, okay? So that way I make sure that I'm even, because otherwise I'm just going in a circle the whole time, if that makes sense. So this way, if I always make sure that I'm twisting towards you, then that means that when I'm on this side, I'll be twisting counterclockwise, and when I'm on this side, I'll be twisting in a clockwise direction for me. So that means that I'm working both sides evenly. It's a really minor detail, but just, you know, why not make it even on both sides? But that's it. That is our lunge variation. So again, any kind of walking lunge variation is great. With or without weight. If you don't want to do walking lunges, you can do side lunges. You can do jump lunges. You can do Bulgarian split squats like we did yesterday. You can do tic-tac lunges. You can do dragon lunges, curtsy lunges. It doesn't matter. 40 reps of lunges total, or 40 reps on each leg with or without weight is what you have to do to participate in the challenge, okay? So you do what works for you. Abs. So I'm going to be doing knee hugs for my abs, but again, any kind of ab exercise you want to do is fine. So any kind of crunch variation, any kind of sit-up variation, but this is what I'm doing. So you're going to come down onto your mat on your back, legs straight, arms extended overhead, and then you're just going to do like a reverse crunch. So you're going to bend your knees and crunch them in towards your chest, and as you do that, you're going to sit up, bring your hands around so that they're on the fronts of your knees, and hug your knees into your chest. Then just reverse the movement. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs, and return to your starting position. And that's it, super simple. So just bending the knees, bringing the knees in towards your chest, and bringing your arms around, placing your hands on top of your knees to hug them into your chest. Reverse the movement, straighten the arms, straighten the legs. Bend the knees, hug them into your chest, return to your starting position. Okay, so that is your equipment-free option. For this exercise, I'm going to be holding onto just one of my dumbbells, and I'm going to have one hand on either side of the dumbbell, like this. I'm starting down here with my arms extended overhead and my legs straight. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to bring my dumbbell up and over. So I'm not hugging my knees because I'm holding onto my dumbbell, but it's the same movement. Okay, I'm bringing my dumbbell up and over so that it kind of touches my shins or my ankles. Now, you can just do that if you want, all right? You can just sit up, crunch the knees, and bring the dumbbell up and over, and then return to your starting position. That's fine. I'm going to be adding a little toe touch. So I'm going to just, from here, I'm going to straighten my knees and just tap my dumbbell to my toes, then bend the legs again and return to this position before I come back to my starting position. All right, so it's going to look like this: knee hug, toe touch, and down. Knee hug, leg extension, touch the toes with the dumbbell, and return to the starting position. All right, so if that's too much, just eliminate that part and do knee hugs with or without weight, or again, any ab exercise you want to do, any crunch variation, any sit-up variation with or without weight is fine. All right, so last but not least is push-ups. So I'm going to be doing kick-through push-ups. But again, any push-up variation you want to do is fine, but this is what I'm doing. Again, make sure that your head is in line with your spine. Make sure your shoulders are away from the ears. Make sure your body stays in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. Again, I'm assuming you are not a beginner and you know how to do push-ups with the correct form. So I'm not going into too much detail. But the push-up itself is just a standard push-up. Then from here, you're going to pick up one foot, step the foot forward towards the hand on the same side. As you do that, you're going to pick up this hand. Then you're going to take your back foot, pick up the foot, bend the knee, and bring this leg through, and then kick. Then reverse the movement. Place this foot back behind you, place the hand back down, and step the foot back. All right, and we're just going to alternate sides with each rep for that kick through. So, other side, push up. Now pick up the opposite foot, step the foot forward, pick up the hand on the same side, pick up your back foot, bend the knee, kick the leg through, and reverse the movement. Okay? So that is your equipment-free modification. I am going to be holding on to my dumbbells. Now, my dumbbells are hex dumbbells, which means that they are flat on the bottom. So if your dumbbells are not flat on the bottom, if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you're using household items for weight, like shampoo bottles or water bottles, then I would prefer that you stick with the body weight version of this exercise that I just showed you, because if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you're using household items or something like that for weight, then they're liable to roll around on you. I don't think it's safe to put all of your weight on your dumbbells while you're doing this exercise, especially when you're doing that kick through. The dumbbells, if they're round, they're liable to roll around on you, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. So you decide what level of risk you're comfortable taking, but for the record, unless you are using dumbbells that are flat on the bottom, I would prefer that you stick with the equipment-free version of this exercise that I just showed you. But I am going to be holding on to my dumbbells like this while I do my push-up. And then I'm going to step one foot forward, and I'm basically going to row this dumbbell on the same side up towards my shoulder as I kick that foot through, and then reverse the movement. So it's the exact same exercise, other side, push up. Now step the opposite foot forward, pick up the hand on the same side, row the dumbbell. As you kick the opposite leg through, put the dumbbell down, return to your starting position. It's the same exact exercise, just holding onto dumbbells. If you don't have a dumbbell or dumbbells, but you do have a kettlebell, you can absolutely do this with a kettlebell. So what you could do is have one hand flat on the floor of the ground, hold onto your kettlebell with the opposite hand while you do your push-up, and then row the kettlebell, and then let go, move the kettlebell over to the other side. That's actually a great core exercise, so you can incorporate that sliding the kettlebell from one side to the other, as you can incorporate that right into the exercise. It would actually be a great exercise done that way. So that's another option if you only have one dumbbell, or if you're using something like, again, like a jug of laundry detergent or something like that. I don't know that anything, but it would have to have a handle on it though, I guess. But I guess some jugs of laundry detergent have handles on them. So whatever you're using, if it lends itself well to that, that's another possibility. So I do think that if your dumbbells are rounded on the end, that could be a good option, because even if you're putting your weight on one rounded dumbbell, as long as you have the other hand flat on the floor of the ground, that should probably provide sufficient stability for you while you're doing your push-up. So that is another good modification if your dumbbells are rounded. Or you could do your push-up with both hands flat on the floor of the ground, and then pick up the weight as you do your kick through. Put it down, let go, move it over. Both hands flat on the floor of the ground for your push-up, and then again, pick up the weight as you do your kick through, put it down, let it go. Okay, so there's a couple of options if you're using household items for weight, or a kettlebell for weight, or if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends. There's a few options for how you can still incorporate weight into that exercise to make it a little bit more difficult. But that's it, that's my push-up variation, and that's all 4 exercises. That's everything we're doing today. So now here's the format. We're going to be breaking up our push-ups today into sets of 10 that we'll be doing throughout the workout. So the first thing we're going to do today is push-ups. We'll start with a set of 10 push-ups, and then we'll move on to squats. And we'll do all 40 squats before moving on. So we'll do 10 push-ups, 40 squats, and then before we move on to lunges, we'll do another set of 10 push-ups. So 10 push-ups, 40 squats, 10 push-ups, and then we'll move on to lunges, all 40 lunges. And then again, before moving on to abs, we'll sneak in another set of 10 push-ups. After that, we'll do 40 reps of abs, and then all we have left to do is our final set of 10 push-ups, and that's our 160 reps, okay? So 10 push-ups, 40 squats, 10 push-ups, 40 lunges, 10 push-ups, 40 reps of abs, 10 push-ups, okay? That's the format. Hopefully that all makes sense. Please remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format, how everything fits together, or if you have questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions beyond what I have already provided, if you need help with beginner modifications, I'm always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. It's really important that you understand how to do the exercises with the correct form before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And hopefully you guys know that it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. I also want to remind you, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, to please make sure that you're going at your own pace and minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. Yes, you want to try to get the reps done as quickly as possible, but not at the expense of your form. So if you are in really good shape, you're stronger than I am, you have better stamina than I do, you're definitely going to be faster than I am. And that's wonderful. Be faster than I am, as long as you are not losing anything off of your form to get there. If you're racing to stay ahead of me just so that you can beat my score or just to meet your time goal and your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down. It is always going to be safer and more effective to slow down and do your reps cleanly at a slower pace than it is to race through, go through the motions and allow your form to get sloppy. So please make sure you're minding your form and please never sacrifice your form for speed. If you are slower than I am, that is also wonderful, because the only way you would even know that you're slower than I am is if you got your little booty dressed and you got out here with me today and you were putting in the work, okay? You're doing your 160 reps. So don't worry about how fast you're going. As long as you're getting the reps done, that is what's important. And what's important is that you are executing those reps as cleanly as you possibly can, okay? So please do not race to keep up with me. If your form starts to get sloppy, you need to slow down. If you fall behind, that's fine. You might fall behind me either because you're just working at a slower pace than I am, or because you need longer rest breaks than what I'm taking, or you need rest breaks where I'm not taking them. That's fine. If you fall behind, just pause the video and come back when you're ready. I'm not going anywhere. We'll finish the workout together when you're ready, okay? But I do want you to challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can. However, you should make sure that your rest breaks are as long as you need. So only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. All right, so please make sure also that you are working to your own level. So that means choosing dumbbells or a kettlebell or household items that are an appropriate weight for you. It means dropping to a lighter weight if the heavier weight becomes too taxing. And if your lighter weight becomes too taxing, it means ditching the added weight altogether and switching to the equipment-free modifications that I showed you. All right, it means not pushing your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. So put your knees down for the push-ups if you need to. Shorten up your range of motion for the squats or the lunges if you need to. All right, please just be smart, be safe, listen to your body and make the decision that is best for you, and just do your best. All right, please remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and begin the workout, go ahead and gather whatever equipment you need. So for me, that's just a set of dumbbells and an exercise mat. So dumbbells are great, but any kind of household items will work. Anything will work for weight as long as you're able to maintain a secure grip on it and it's not too heavy for you. So get creative and use what you've got. If you have absolutely nothing that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to your workout, that's fine. You have your equipment-free substitutions. Grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. Again, if you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. And if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you probably won't need anything at all. Pause the video, go get dressed, and then meet me right back here. We're going to start with a quick little 5-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into our day 7 reps. So as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure that your arm is completely relaxed. You are not pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just allowing gravity to do all the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck by just using the weight of your arm. So now we're going to do the other side. Allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is completely relaxed. Shoulders should be relaxed also. Make sure your shoulders are down, away from your ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to start by allowing your chin to fall first towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier as you allow your range of motion to increase until finally your entire torso is just kind of spilling down in front of you. Your arms should be nice and loose like a rag doll. Now we're just going to do some shoulder rolls. So you can roll your shoulders towards the back or towards the front, it doesn't matter. But you want to really explore your full range of motion here, so make big circles with your shoulders. Next, we're going to do some arm circles. So you're going to just extend your arms straight out to the sides and begin by making small circles either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you are exploring your full range of motion, really making those circles as big as you can. Now step your feet out wide so that they're wider than shoulder width apart. Bend your knees, sweeping your arms down in front of you, and as you straighten your legs, you're reaching up towards the ceiling as high as you can. Each time you bend your knees, allow your range of motion to increase, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. They should be wider than shoulder width apart. We're going to lunge side to side. Nice and easy, adding the arms. So now with each lunge, I'm just reaching my arm across my body. Should feel like you're trying to throw your arm across the room, just really loosening up those shoulders. Next, we're going to march in place. So you're going to step your feet in and just march, starting with your knees low, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Really get them up there, feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. Now we're going to jog in place. Again, starting with your knees low, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you possibly can. And next is booty kicks. This is our last jogging interval. So now with each step, I'm just bringing my foot behind me. Really, really try to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. If you struggle with balance for this next one, you can hold on to the wall or a chair for support. If not, hands on your hips is fine. Transfer your weight into one foot, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose. Just waking up our hip flexors. And now we're gonna do the other leg. So put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the opposite foot, and just swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and then as the interval progresses, if it's comfortable for you, you can start expanding your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. Now, put this foot down, transfer your weight again, pick up the other foot, extend the leg straight out in front of you, and then make a semicircle, bringing that leg around and behind you. With each semicircle, you're lifting your leg higher and higher. And for the last two, we're going to do a hip circle. So drive your knee up towards your chest. Use your hands to kind of guide it around for a hip circle. Other leg. Extend the leg out in front of you. Make a semicircle. Bringing the leg around and behind. Lifting that leg higher and higher each time. And for the last two, drive the knee out towards your chest. Use your hand to guide it around for a hip circle. Finishing with a hamstring stretch. So hinge at the hips, feet are wide apart, keep your back as flat as you can. So if you want to use something like this post, or the wall, or a chair, or the arm of your couch, it might make it a little bit easier getting into this stretch, a little bit easier to keep that back flat so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. Can make it a little bit more comfortable for you, and it might make this stretch a little bit more accessible. But that's it. That's our little 5-minute warm up. So let's get right into these day 7 reps We are starting with 10 kick-through push-ups or any push-up variation you want to do with or without weight. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I am going to be holding onto my dumbbells while I do this. Push up on the dumbbells. Now step 1 foot forward, row the weight, kick the back leg through, and return to the starting position, alternating sides with each rep. So push up, step the opposite foot forward, row the weight up towards your shoulder as you kick that leg through. That's 2 reps. We're going to 10. Do your best. That's 10. So that's our first set of push-ups. Now we're moving on to squats. We're going to do all 40 squats before moving on to lunges. So again, any squat variation you want to do with or without weight is fine. I'm going to be doing a squat with a side leg lift, alternating legs with each rep. And I'm going to be holding on to both of my dumbbells for this, and I'm adding a bicep curl and an overhead press. So holding my dumbbells together in front of me like this, squat, curl the weights. Now transfer your weight into one foot as you pick up the other leg and press the weights up overhead. Then the weights come back down to your shoulder, straighten your arms, and return to your starting position. Alternating legs with each rep. So now squat, curl the weights, lift the legs, overhead press. Straighten the arms and return to your starting position. That's 2. So I have to do 38 more. You know what we're doing. I'm gonna zip it so I can conserve some energy and get these reps done. Do your best. That's 20 for me. I'm halfway there. If you don't need to rest, don't rest. I'm just pacing myself for 40, so I'm gonna take a little bit of a rest break here, and then I'll see if I can do my next 10 reps without stopping. Hopefully, that'll be my goal. Picking up my count at 20. That's 30. Try to keep this rest break a little shorter since I'm only recovering from a set of 10 as opposed to a set of 20, and because I only have to do 10 more. Okay, if you need a longer rest break, you can pause the video, come back when you're ready. Let's finish up these final 10 reps of squats. That's 10. So squats are done. Before we move on to lunges, we're going to do another set of 10 push-ups. When you're ready. Push-ups are half done. That's a tough push-up variation, especially with the added weight. So that's why we're breaking them up. Next is our walking lunges. So remember, I'm just taking 2 steps with each rep. And then I'm doing a little twist jump. And that twist jump counts as part of the exercise. So I'm just going to be holding my weights to my side as I do this. And that means I'm double counting my lunges. That means that by the end of 40 reps, we actually will have completed a total of 80 lunges. So 40 lunges on each leg. If that's too many for you, or if you're pressed for time, you can cut it in half. You can just count to 20, because that will mean that you completed a total of 40 lunges all day. So that's up to you, with or without weight. And again, if you have more space, you can take more steps with each set or with each rep. Okay, so starting towards one end of my workout space, just holding my weights to my side like this. Step and lunge, step and lunge. Now step the back foot forward, twist, jump, other direction. Step and lunge, step and lunge. Step the back foot forward, twist, jump. Make sure you're alternating counterclockwise and clockwise each time you do that twist jump, but that's 2. Okay, so I'm going to count to 40 that way. So do your best. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna take a minute. Hang in there with me. Here we go, pick up my count at 2. That's my first 10. My quads are really starting to feel it, so I'm taking a rest break here, and I'll try to do another unbroken set of 10 if I can. I'll see if I can just do 4 sets of 10 with any luck. If not, I'll start breaking them down into sets of 5, that's fine. So as soon as you're ready, here we go, picking up my count at 10. So that's 20 for me. So if you want, you can move on now. Do another set of push-ups, and then move on to your 40 reps of abs. Because if you've done that much with me, you've completed a total of 40 reps of lunges so far. You've done 20 lunges on each leg. But I'm double counting my lunges today. So I'm only halfway done. Another thing I forgot to mention is that I'm always initiating the movement with the leg that's closest to you. Again, just to make sure I end up even on both legs. So I'm picking up my count at 20. I'm going to try to see if I can do another 10 unbroken. So I'm initiating the movement with the leg that is closest to you as I step in this direction, twisting so that you're always looking at the front of my body. And now on the way back, again, initiating the movement with the leg that's closest to you so that I'm always alternating sides with each rep. So that's 22. I'm gonna zip it and do 8 more, hopefully without stopping. That's 30. Just 10 more. If it's getting too difficult with the added weight, just drop it or move down in weight. Hold on to a lighter set of weights or just hold on to one weight instead of 2. I'm stubborn. I don't want this to take too long, but I also want to do all 40 reps the same, so I'm gonna hold up to both my weights even though my legs feel like they're gonna fall off All right, when you're ready, final 10 reps of lunges. It's 31. 32, 8 more. Last one. And 40. Okay, so squats are done, lunges are done, push-ups are half done. All we have left is abs. So first, before we move on to our ab exercise, we're going to sneak in another set of 10 push-ups. When you're ready. Exercise. This is our ab exercise. So I'm doing a weighted knee hug with a leg extension. I can do the same thing without weight. You can eliminate the leg extension if it's too difficult. And remember, any ab exercise you want to do with or without weight is fine. So for this exercise, I'm just holding one dumbbell. I have one hand on either side of the dumbbell. I'm starting down here on my back on the mat with my legs extended straight and my arms extended up overhead. Now I'm going to crunch my knees in towards my chest, and as I do that, I'm going to bring the dumbbell up and over. Then I'm going to add this leg extension. So I'm going to straighten my legs and reach up to tap my toes with the dumbbell. Then bend my knees, return to my knee hug position, and then reverse the movement. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs, and return to my starting position. So, knee hug, leg extension, touching the toes with the dumbbell, and then bring it back. Knee hug, Leg extension, touch the toes with the dumbbell, return to your starting position. That's 3, okay? So again, I'm gonna zip it so that I can try to keep my pace up, and these don't take me all day. I have to do another 37 of them. So wish me luck. Picking up my count at 3. That's 30 for me. I have to do 10 more. You guys know me in abs. If you don't know me and you don't know me in abs, allow me to introduce you to the world's weakest abs. I'm always crying when we're doing abs. So you'll see a lot of tears over the course of this challenge. All right, 10 more. All right, that's 40. So that means squats are done, lunges are done, abs are done. That's our S, our L, and our A. All we have left to do is finish up with our final 10 push-ups. And then push-ups will be done And that will be our P. And we will have completed our daily slap. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Final set of 10 push-ups. And that was our fourth set of push-ups. So that means that was our 40th push-up on the day. So we have now completed our 160 reps for the day. We have just 1 rep left to go. No workout of mine is ever complete, and especially no workout of this challenge is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. This is our final rep of the day. With that, the workout is now officially complete, so let's just do a quick cool down together. You just want to keep moving while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit and while you allow your breathing to normalize. So you can just pace back and forth. That's fine. Shake out the legs a little bit. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch, bringing one arm across your body and using your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Make sure as you're doing this stretch that your straight arm is completely relaxed. And of course, make sure your shoulder is relaxed. If your shoulder is tense and hunched up by your ear, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder, and keep moving. We're going to do a few more light stretches. So while you're stretching, I want you to keep moving. You can keep pacing, shake out the legs. You can even just shift your weight from foot to foot. That's fine. Just keep moving and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. So you do that by using your diaphragm. Really feel your diaphragm being pulled down as you inhale. Allow your rib cage to expand and visualize filling up your entire torso with air. So send that breath all the way down to your belly button as you inhale. And then use your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. So now let's stretch the other shoulder, bringing the opposite arm across your body and using your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Your straight arm is completely relaxed. Shoulder is relaxed. Feel that nice stretch along the outside and the back of your shoulder. Make sure you're continuing to move. So I'm just shaking out my legs. You can pace if that feels better for you, or you can even just shift your weight from foot to foot. That's fine. One more deep breath here. So breathing all the way down to your belly button as you inhale. And using your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. So next we're going to do a tricep stretch. Bend your elbow, place your hand on the elbow, and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. And as you do that, make sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. So you want to avoid having your free hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. Point your fingers straight down at the ground as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feel that nice stretch in your triceps. Keep moving and keep focusing on your breathing. So let's take one more deep breath here. Control the air as you exhale. Nice. Let's do the other side. So bending the other arm, place your hand on your elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Making sure the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. Oh, feel that nice stretch in your tricep. Feels really good, actually. I like this stretch. Keep moving. Just kind of shifting my weight from foot to foot. Let's take one more deep breath here. So one more time, sending that breath all the way down to your belly button as you inhale. Control the exhale and come out. All right, so let's finish with a quick quad stretch. If you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or any strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface for support. Your kitchen counter, arm of your couch, chair. You're just going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, and then reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you're not holding on to anything for support, you can go ahead and reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, and press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there. Feel that nice stretch in your quads. Now, as you're doing that, I want you to tilt your pelvis forward. So kind of tuck your booty underneath you. Think about trying to touch your spine with your belly button. As you're doing that, as you're tilting your pelvis forward, you should still be actively pressing your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're going to feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively. But I also want you to feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. So coming out, shake out the legs. Let's get the other side. So you're going to bend your other knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you are holding on to something for support. If you are not holding on to anything for support, you can reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. And now press your heel into your booty cheek. And as you do that, you're going to tilt your pelvis forward. Keep pressing your heel into your booty cheek as you tuck your booty underneath you, sucking your belly button all the way back towards your spine. Feel that stretch really intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively. And feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexor. So keep pressing your heel into your booty cheek and keep tilting your pelvis forward. Let's take one more nice deep breath here. Slow, controlled exhale and come out. All right, one last time, shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit. And that's it, that's our cool down. So now I'm moving right onto my cardio. I have the lovely Victoria here with me today. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope with these pretty light pink metallic handles. So if you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. I am going to set my interval timer for 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals times 40 rounds. That's 20 minutes. I'm going to get some music going and I'm just going to do my cardio, 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope, and then I'm done. Then I'm going to do my stretching, have my shower, eat some lunch, and get on with the rest of my day. So the additional cardio is not required. It is not mandatory. It is not officially part of the challenge. However, this is the way I do the challenge every year, so I'm just sharing that with you. After each one of these workouts, I like to tack on an additional 20 to 30 minutes or more of moderate paced cardio. So 9 times out of 10 for me, that's a 20-minute jump rope session. But sometimes I might decide to go for a jog. If I have time, I'll go for a hike. It's nice and warm and sunny this week, so I'm sure a hike is in my very near future. But If you don't necessarily have to add on cardio after every single one of the workouts, but I strongly recommend that you find at least 2 to 3 days a week, if you can, to do that additional cardio, 20 to 30 minutes, more if you have time. It doesn't have to be jump rope, it doesn't have to be a jog, it doesn't have to be a hike. Anything you want to do for cardio is fine. So you could go for a bike ride, you could work on your heavy bag. If you have an exercise bike or a treadmill, you could hop on one of those, or Stairmaster, you can hop on something like that for 20 to 30 minutes or more if you want. Or you could do something fun, like maybe go to a fitness class, or meet someone to play some tennis or basketball or something like that, okay? It really can be anything you want, but if you are looking to use this challenge to really get yourself in shape and improve your stamina and lose weight, then I think finding at least 2 to 3 days a week to add on 20 to 30 minutes or more of cardio after the workouts is really going to help you to start seeing results faster. So once you start seeing the results of your hard work, then that's going to do 2 things. First of all, it means you're getting stronger, it means your stamina is improving, so that means that the workouts are going to start to become easier for you. And that can be really encouraging because the challenge is going to seem like less work. It's going to seem like less of a chore. It's going to start to feel a little bit more enjoyable, hopefully. That's the goal. And also, it means that you're going to start seeing that what you're doing is working. And that's really encouraging. And that improves your mindset. And when you feel encouraged to keep doing what you're doing because you see that it's working, that makes motivation a lot easier to come by. It's going to make you more likely to want to do the workouts each day because you're liking the results that you're seeing. So every day is great. If you want to do additional cardio after every single one of these workouts, 40 days, that is the way I do the challenge every year. So I'm just sharing that with you. And if you have the time to do that, and if you are capable of doing that, fantastic. If you can't do that, that's completely understandable. But I would really recommend that you try to find at least 2 to 3 days a week where you can do that extra cardio. Again, it is not required, it is not mandatory, it is not technically part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended, especially if you are trying to get yourself in shape, improve your stamina, and lose weight. If you find at least 2 to 3 days to do some extra cardio after the workouts, I think you're going to be a lot happier with your results on day 40. Also, very, very, very strongly recommended is that you take 20 to 30 minutes to stretch. Stretching every day is really important. It's going to go a long way towards helping alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and that is especially important if you're doing this challenge because part of what we're trying to accomplish with this challenge is to establish a habit of daily exercise, and the way to do that is through consistent effort. That's why we're working out every day except Sundays. But every week we're doing 6 workouts in a row. We're working out every Monday through Saturday for this whole challenge. So that is how you establish that habit of daily exercise, by doing the reps every single day. So the goal is that by day 40, you will have established that habit, and then after the challenge is over, you'll continue making daily exercise a part of your routine. So if you get injured, you're going to have to miss a few days while your body recovers, and all of that momentum that you're working so hard to build is going to come to a screeching halt. And it's going to make it really, really difficult to establish that habit of daily exercise. So in order to reduce your risk of injury, there are 2 really important steps that you have to take. And one of those steps I always talk about before we start the workout, and that is minding your form, making sure that you are doing the reps correctly. But the other step that you can take is daily stretching, okay? Because if you take the time to stretch every day, you are training your muscles to be generally more pliable, and you're going to increase your range of motion as you're doing these exercises, and it's just going to go a long way towards not only alleviating any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts, not only towards reducing your risk of injury, but also it's going to improve your flexibility. So we do the reps every day to improve our strength. We do the additional cardio to improve our stamina. So while we're at it, let's do this stretching. Let's commit to 20 to 30 minutes every single day of stretching to improve our flexibility. I think flexibility is a very important aspect of your overall fitness level that can be overlooked sometimes and generally is undervalued. So please make sure that you're taking a good 20 or 30 minutes to stretch every day. I always like to do my cardio immediately after my reps, and then I do my stretching after that. If you can do your stretching right now, either immediately after the workout or immediately after your cardio, if you're adding on cardio, that's always going to be the most effective and the most efficient time to get your stretching done, because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. But if you don't have time to do your stretching right now, that's fine. You can put it off until later in the day. Just remember that if you do put off your stretching until later on in the day, your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you're going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles, because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. But that's it. That is officially a wrap on day 7. So if you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of our day 7 workout and how you did. Thank you to everyone who's doing the challenge with me. If you have not started the challenge yet, please remember that it is not too late to join. It is never too late to join. You can jump in right here, right now, and start the challenge on day 7. That is a-okay with me. You can start the challenge whenever you want to, whenever it's convenient for you. If you do want to go back to day 1 and start the challenge on day 1, that's wonderful. Just make sure that you start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, and from there all you have to do is follow along with the playlist. I am going to be here every step of the way doing the challenge with you. I'm also here to encourage and motivate and support and answer questions. So please ask questions if you have them. But if you are going to be joining the challenge, please let me know. I like to have an idea of how many people are doing the challenge with me each year. But whether you're doing the challenge or not, thank you for working out with me today. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything was unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have questions about any of the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions beyond what I have already provided, if you need to see beginner modifications, I am always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. And also, if you know anyone else who might be interested in joining the challenge, please feel free to share this video, share the playlist. The more people doing the challenge with me every year, the better. So please remember to subscribe. Please remember to like, comment, and share. You all know how YouTube works. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 8. Bye.